This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hi everybody, welcome to show 336, Aussie Mac Zone, 336.
336.
Zarn, how are you?
I'm great, Michael. How are you?
Very, very good, thank you. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah. Lovely dinner with the family.
Yes. Yeah, I've got a comment about that later on. Because actually something
excellent.
that happened at the family came up in a story.
Excellent.
So, story one. As Pride goes virtual, the Apple Watch Pride Edition helps community and advocacy continue worldwide. Like most high school seniors, Elle Smith hasn't had the year they imagined. Prom was cancelled, a graduation ceremony is up in the air, but one thing Elle hasn't compromised on is weekly virtual meetings of their Austin, Texas High School's Gender and Sexualities Alliance, a club for LGBTQ students and allies to come together and find community. Elle restarted the club. Restarted the club in their freshman year and has since led it ever since. Not everyone has a safe and supportive family situation, Elle explained. We're all missing out on a lot of different life events. It's about honouring the changes in people's lives and marking the milestones we want to mark, while still being safe. We're trying to make sure that students have access to fun and relaxation too. It's this commitment to community and advocacy that led to Elle's being named Student Advocate of the Year by GLSN, a US-based LGBTQ organisation that has inspired and helps lead a global movement to end discrimination, harassment and bullying in schools. GLSEN supports student advocates like Elle and provides the resources that help them to change their communities, one conversation at a time.
Those watches look great.
They do. Pride season is a time where it feels safer to be authentic. It's the ideal world where you're able to be safe, you're able to be yourself, and you're able to be loud. So there's more to the story, but I'll let people read it from the link in the show notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's the standard Apple sports band, which has also got they have an actual watch face that goes with it.
Yeah, which is absolutely great. Just the whole band just goes right around.
Yeah. And it's very loud. So if you want to be loud and loud supportive, there's that one. Or this year,
if you're here and you're queer,
yep,
check it out.
Yeah, welcome to us. Then there's this year there's a Nike edition, which is a white band, but all the little holes in the Nike are all in the rainbow colour. So it's very subtle. So you can be very subtle and be supportive. So that's pretty cool.
I think they've had to be subtle for too long.
So, yeah. So that's just something to think about. Now, what about... where am I up here? Yeah. Sorry. Australia Post reported 300 cyber incidents this year, but nothing to cause major disruption.
Sorry, Michael. Hang on a second. Let's check your sound. Just talk for me again.
Talking to you again. Testing. Hello.
No. Okay, so fun. It just sort of crackles here and there.
Uh-huh.
It's not dropping out completely.
If I put that one in as well, it'll stop any feedback.
Oh.
Now, ZNet reports Australia Post has seen around 300 cyber incidents so far this year, but it said none were enough to cause the government-owned entity to suffer the same fate as the likes of Toll. Addressing the Joint Committee on Public Accounts and Audit on Tuesday, Australia Post Chief Information Security Officer Glenn Studdard said from Jan 1 to March 30, the organisation had no incidents that were considered to be extremely high impact. but we did respond to 300 individual cyber incidents that we see in our systems, and most of those from things like SMS phishing campaigns, he said. Text messages that bad actors might send to try and get you to click on a link and give up your credentials, similarly through email phishing campaigns. So they're dealing with these types of things on a daily basis and defending those. He said it was quite a substantial number and that the Postal Service didn't have any high or extreme impacts over that period of time. Studdard said Australia Post has not specifically seen any evidence in the past few years of state actors attempting to hack or attack its systems, but he did say there would be a substantial disruption to its functions should it fall victim to a serious attack. Obviously, our obligation to deliver a letter service under our obligation would be one business interruption. We run one of the larger parcel logistic businesses in the country, and our ability to be able to function as our parcel business does, if we were impacted by an attack, that service may be impacted and degraded, similar to what we saw with Toll, he said. Toll attacker made off with an employee data and commercial agreements. Anyway, Australia Post was appearing before the committee as part of its inquiry to consider the cyber resilience of government entities prioritising information security. Specifically, the committee is examining two Auditor General's reports, cyber resilience of government business enterprises and corporate Commonwealth entities and implementation of the My Health record system. So obviously, we want our government entities to be safe.
Absolutely.
And not bleed it, not have people getting in the back door and bleeding us dry or getting hold of, like think of how many people are on security at the moment.
Yeah.
How many more records there are and how harder it is to keep all of those records safe and private.
Yep.
So it's a good article.
It is.
It goes on and explains a lot more. It's very good. It's worth a read.
Excellent. G'day, David. Thanks for watching. Hey, Jasmine. Thanks for watching. Hey, Jared. Thanks for watching, buddy.
I wish I knew why you get all of those people and I don't get.
Because I share it.
Yeah.
To my Facebook page.
Uh-huh.
And so they're my friends, so my friends pop up. And
I didn't know you had any.
oh, they're cyber friends. Thought I could go see them. Even if I'm not allowed to see them anyway.
So what about gaming? What do we got for gaming?
Well, we've revisited again. So the last 4 weeks in a row, I've played a game and then couldn't get it going. But this game last week, I talked about it, Beyond Blue. So after setting up my Apple TV, that's right. Finally, I knew what I had to do. Right, so I had a list of games that I had to try out, and Beyond Blue was on the top of my list.
Okay.
I said last week that I couldn't really control it. It was hard with my phone. It was. I didn't really have a chance to get right into it with my phone because the controls, again, were just lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So once I set up the Apple TV, I got one of my controllers here from my console, set it all up, and off we went. And it was absolutely fantastic. The game, it's beautiful. Graphically, it's amazing. And, I'm just so happy with it. I got to swim around with humpbacks, play with dolphins, be careful around sharks. That's all I got into at the moment because there was so many other games I wanted to play, but I really just wanted to give this a whirl.
Yeah.
I swim around collecting. So you got to like sonar and sound, and so you collect sounds that fish make. And I ran into a whole bunch of different, different sounds from fish. And so I didn't just get dolphins and whales; I got all sorts of little fish and everything, following them around, and I just had a great time. And this is all done while playing.
And this was on a console.
No, this was on Apple TV.
On a console controller.
That's right. It was on a console controller. So I just used my Xbox controller because it hooks straight up. It's so easy to just join onto the Apple TV, and it works wonderfully.
Excellent.
So you're playing as how do you say that? Miri?
Yeah, Miri.
Yeah, a diver and scientist, and she's there to collect data and just give feedback. It's based a little bit in the future, so you got this cool tech that you're wearing that sort of films and sounds, and you can swim deeper than you normally would. And so it was the storylines are beautiful as well. Comes in telling you that before she was a scientist, her grandmother was one of the first free divers. Grandmother taught her how to free dive, and then that's how she sort of got into diving, became a marine biologist, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Again, the storyline is it's brilliant. So I'm going to give that 4 apples out of 5.
Excellent.
And I haven't even played that much of it, but it's beautiful. I know I'll get back to it. And the boys were absolutely amazed with it too, because I actually got to play with a humpback whale, swimming around it. It was making noises and flipping its belly over, and all this sort of stuff. And so they just thought it was top stuff.
Excellent. Well, our links in the show notes have got one is the preview.
Yep, that's right.
Showing a video of the game.
Yeah, and the other one's a write-up on just tells you a little bit about the game, and then the story about how they went about making the game, and
the interview with the girl.
The girl who does the voice and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
so that's cool.
They did a lot of research. So these guys, with this game, they did so much research with this game.
Yeah.
Well, they went to universities and with oceanographers and all that sort of stuff, and really worked with them to get this game right.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was so disappointed that it wasn't that great on the phone. But again, I got it to work on the Apple TV, and it was so much better on the big screen anyway. I was playing it on the weekend in 4K, and it was just magical.
Excellent.
Sandra Sully, on the other hand, in 4K, a little bit lackluster. It's a whole other story that I'll leave for later. Second game, again, I tried to review it last week, but I had trouble controlling it on my phone. I'm noticing this with a few different games now. I'm guessing they're wanting them to be a little bit more on the Apple TV than in your handheld sort of form. It may even be easier on the iPad than it is the iPhone, or it could just be that I have massive sausage fingers. So, these are your options. Take your pick. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, right.
So this is Choo Choo Rocket Universe. I didn't expect anything from this game. I just want to let you know, I just did a review on it because it's my job.
That's right.
So I thought, I'll give this a laugh and anything like that. It's so addictive, and it's just one of those little puzzlers. You've got to work out which way the little space mice go, otherwise the space cats are going to get them, and they've got to get into their rocket and take off. It's like trying to sort out a digital Rubik's Cube. It's so addictive. I probably played this for way longer than I should have, because I just couldn't put it down, and I had so much fun. It was hilarious. And the boys, again, they were with me, sitting there, and they're telling me which way to put the arrows, so the mice will go this way and the mice will go that way, and they've got to avoid the cats, and when they'd get eaten, they'd be like, oh no, they're going to die. It's okay, it's just a video game, mate. They're not going to die. It never existed. And but yeah, so it was really fun. It was just it made me think as well. Like, it wasn't just one of those little games that you pick up and think, oh, yeah, I'll give it a lash, And the first few puzzles were easy, and they let you, think that you've got this.
Yeah.
You're just going to fly through this. And so the first level I flew through, I got like 5 stages in. I'm like, this is nothing. And then I get into the second level, and I'm in there, and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. That's not too bad. wow, I can't pass this one. Like, all right, figure it out. And then, it took me a little bit longer to figure out. And I think that's why I stayed with it for so long, is because it was actually making my brain work.
Good.
And, they say that, if your brain's working, you're less likely to get Alzheimer's and all that sort of stuff, and your memory lasts longer. And
what was that?
And so, hey, what am I talking about? Yeah, and so it was a great game. Again, I'm going to give this one. I'm going to give it 3.2.
Excellent.
Because it's a fun little puzzler game, but there's hundreds of them, so I'm not going to give it a massive rating because again, there's hundreds of them and we can play them all. So it was fun. It was made by Sega, so it gives it nostalgia value, gives it a little bit of an extra point. So that's me for gaming.
Yeah.
I know you've got some entertainment stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
I've also discovered Apple TV and all the benefits of Apple TV.
Yep.
And so I've got now, what have I got? Red Bull TV, which is excellent. The Red Bull TV has got everything from like breakdance battles to dirt bike enduro challenges, it is absolutely fantastic. They got drift in there, motocross. What was I watching the other day? Oh, the diving, the cliff diving.
Cliff diving, yeah.
Oh, I couldn't get enough of that. And so that was really cool. Then we don't have an aerial on our house because we just haven't had a chance to fit it yet. We haven't been here for long. And, you got to buy your own aerial and stuff. And so I got a quote, and it was, I think all up, it was going to cost me $1,200 to get the aerial fit and have the aerial connections fitted into each room.
Yeah.
So we could all, so the kids could go in there and watch TV if they wanted to, or whatever. Instead of that, because we really needed, my Xbox broke in the lounge room and we needed something, used a little bit of money I had to put away and bought the Apple TV. You get live TV with it without an aerial.
Yeah.
So I've now got 7, 9, 10, all the additions that go with 7, 9, and 10. Yeah. I've got iView, I've got SBS.
It's all there.
It's all there, and it can all be live.
Yes.
And
as I said, one of the things I do a lot is I either use iView in South Australia.
Yep. Yeah, if you want to catch up.
Yeah, because that's half an hour difference. Yep. Or last night I watched one show live and then watched the Western Australian version because it was 3 hours, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I was able to watch what I wanted to watch that night in a different order to how they put it out live, but I got to see it all, and I was quite happy.
Excellent.
So, that's one advantage if you keep that in mind. If you think, oh, damn, I didn't, I broke down on the way home or the train was late or whatever, and you want to catch up on that half hour, just the half hour beforehand, just go to the South Australian iView site. Simple.
That's right. And like both you and I watch so much ABC, like it's such a good value. Like it's a free app, and you're getting live TV. You can also watch pretty much anything that's on ABC.
Yeah.
Like it makes
I even been watching only because I pushed the button without watching. I've been watching the ABC News.
Yep.
Which is effectively nearly all the same news because 90% of the news is quite Australian.
Yep.
And just with a couple of Canberra things or a couple of Sydney things,
Yep.
So I'm not missing out too much when I make the mistake. But it's good. It's good.
And not just that too, we saved like $950.
Yeah.
Because now we don't need an aerial.
That's right.
And so
and you were paying for your downloads anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and now too, like because we got that, if I want to watch a movie, I've got Apple TV Plus. Got heaps of movies. I've got Netflix on there. I've got Stan on there.
Yep.
As well. I've got Amazon. Plus all the cool stuff that comes with the Apple TV as well. Even I went on to the movies in there in Apple TV.
Yep.
And You know, I can get Birds of Prey, I can get The Joker, I can get all that sort of stuff, and I can just rent the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have
That's
to. I don't have to pay for it, like to buy it or own it or anything like to see it. It's just a low cost.
Yeah,
You know,
Apple have specials on
that's
them.
right. You can go to the 99-cent bin. They've got
Yeah.
a 99-cent bin.
Yeah.
You know, to rent a movie, you go in the 99-cent bin, and like some of those movies are really good. They're just old.
That's
You
right.
know, like, and you think, oh man, I haven't seen that in ages. Yeah, I'll spend 99 cents and watch that. You know.
Yes. Yep.
So that's me talking about finally getting Apple TV and realizing why you were saying to me you should just get an Apple TV. You should just get an Apple TV. And I'm going to admit this on live TV. You were right. So there you go.
Excellent. So we've got Apple's little voice from Emmy Award winner J.J. Abrams, Grammy-winning singer-songwriter Sarah Bareilles,
Yep.
and Jesse Nelson to debut globally on July 10 on Apple TV+. The first look revealed of a new half-hour coming-of-age drama series featuring original music from Sarah Bareilles. Little Voice follows Bess King O'Grady, a uniquely talented performer struggling to fulfill her dreams while navigating rejection, love, and complicated family issues. Featuring original music by Grammy and Tony Awards nominee Sarah Bareilles, this is a story about finding your authentic voice and the courage to use it. Little Voice is produced by J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Productions in association with Warner Brothers.
Awesome.
And
Bad Robot does some
really
good stuff.
Yep.
J.J. Abrams can do no wrong. He's just fantastic at what he does. It doesn't matter what he touches, it turns to gold.
Yep.
You know, you got to look at Star Wars and redoing Star Wars and things like that. And, you know, he's done some fantastic stuff with Cloverfield and it's just to name a few. You know, he's Lost, wasn't that his as well?
Yeah.
And so, like I said, you just hit after hit. So hopefully this will. You can watch the trailer for this too, can't you?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's
it's good.
Yeah, check it out.
And then entertainment number 2. If I can put the screenshot up properly this time. Yeah. It's a show called Dear, D-E-A-R. So it's one person's story can change the world. From Emmy-winning filmmaker R.J. Cutler, Dear profiles game-changing icons and the people whose lives they've inspired. All 10 episodes will debut June 5, exclusively on Apple TV app with an Apple TV Plus subscription. Inspired by Apple's groundbreaking Dear Apple ad for the Apple Watch, Dear is an inventive approach to biographies of the influential people who are shaping culture and society today using letters that fans have written to them. Dear focuses on key moments from subjects' lives and their work and has profoundly impacted not only the individuals who have written letters, but the world at large. Now, I've watched the trailer for this. It looks inspiring. And even Big Bird gets an episode.
Yeah. That's what I love. That's what I love about Apple. Like, they put this inspiring stuff in there because they really believe in this, you know, like influencing greatness.
Yes.
You know, like they think that if they can share greatness will be. It's like it's contagious.
Yeah.
You know, then you want to strive to do that, and it's true, it is. And so I love this stuff, and I love that Apple does this stuff. Like the Beastie Boys documentary.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a good movie. Like, it's so good, and it's honest. You know, they talk about like being jerks.
Yeah.
You know, young, having money, and just being jerks. And he apologizes. You know, like he talks about, and he apologizes for being an ass. And like, I just think like it's so inspiring to see these like, these guys are one of the like founders of you know music today.
Yeah.
And they still have a recording label, you know, and And so, like, to see them, do that, and they've inspired a whole generation of music come out and just be honest like that, and I think it's something special. I think Apple does a wonderful job of that.
Excellent. I agree. That's why I love Apple.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
That's it. That's why we're here.
Yeah. So now, a late one that came in late today.
Yeah.
So Binge, which is Foxtel's new streaming service, wants to kill the scroll as it bids for your subscription. ABC News is reporting there's a new player in TV streaming market and it wants to make life easier for you. Foxtel's new subscription platform Binge launches today, boasting 10,000 hours of content, scaling up to 20,000 in the next 12 months. One of its draw cards will be much discussed US shows like Succession, Game of Thrones from cable channel TV, channel HBO. Yeah. Content deals with Warner Brothers, Sony and the BBC will also give subscribers a wide range of popular movies and documentaries. But Binge will face strong competition for your dollars from established players like Netflix, Stan, Apple TV, Disney Plus and Amazon, which are already duking it out in a crowded market. To that end, aside from its content offering, TV series Big Little Lies and The Wire, the DC Universe Collection and the Fast and Furious films, one of its key selling points will be its promise to kill the scroll. A surprise me feature that harks back to old school TV. Streaming services are bulging with content and data suggests people will subscribe to more than one.
I do.
That can mean decision paralysis. Consumers want to avoid feeling regret. Adam Camilleri, a consumer psychologist and senior lecturer in marketing at the University of Technology, Sydney, who studies judgment and decision making, told the ABC last year. Regret comes from choosing to invest in an option such as a new TV series that turns out to be unsatisfying. In a briefing for media, Binge said it would bolster its personalisation algorithm by adding sections curated by humans. Everybody loves the algorithm to an extent, Ben Lenz, director of products of Binge, said of streaming services generally. An over-reliance on algorithms that do not give an indication of quality, whether one action film is better than another, has been a source of criticism for streaming platforms. Recently, Netflix, by far the largest platform in Australia, indicated it was looking to address that by having sections of its platform include staff picks. Netflix also recently introduced a daily top 10 designed to give you an idea of what Australians are watching. Yeah,
so day to day.
Yeah.
They give you the top 10 day to day and they tell you what's been most watched that day, and things like that. It's come in handy.
Yeah. So part of Binge's strategy is a section called Surprise Me, which will bring up a random show or movie. If you don't like what you get, you can roll the dice again. Now, you can get a 14-day free trial now, and Binge is from $10 a month.
Yeah, so, again, is it? Amazon is $6.99.
Yeah.
Stan is $8.99. I think Netflix is the most expensive one. Up at around, I think at mine, because I've just got it for one thing, I think is sorry, pardon me, I think is $8.99 as well, and then Disney is $6.99.
Yeah.
A month. Like coming in at $10 a month. Foxtel just cutting their nose off the spot their face once again.
Yeah, I don't quite get why they need a second streaming service. So if Binge is owned by Foxtel, but Foxtel is more than twice the price because I think it's $25 a month.
Yep.
So will I be able to get Binge shows on Foxtel? Doubt it.
No.
So that means Foxtel want me to give them $35 a month.
And
basically.
yeah, exactly. And not just that. They're talking about Netflix saying, "Oh, we want to give you more content." Then let us in onto the American market.
Yeah.
Like, because American Netflix, so I've heard, is way more content, way more content.
Yeah.
Like it'd blow your mind how much more content there is on there.
Yeah.
So if Netflix wants to, give us more, then please let us in. Like they're like, oh, we got contracts for deals. Like, for instance, what was it? Onward. Onward was released in America sort of about 2 weeks before it was released here.
Yeah.
Or almost a month or something it was, I think. I can't remember. But it was because Foxtel were charging people $25 to watch it for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And so Foxtel were making their money here. And while Disney was giving it to America for free. And I'm sure Disney's making some money off Foxtel's back. I've got no doubt about that. But
yeah, but it's all a matter of the tide changing. If Foxtel, you're going to have to start making more of their own stuff.
Yeah, well, they've got what's it called? They make their own content.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. They've got a channel on there where they make their own content, and it's mostly dramas and stuff like that. I can't remember the name, but yeah, they got that. They could use that, I guess.
But yeah, there's like probably a 5-year transition going on at the moment between all the production houses.
Yeah.
And people like Foxtel and Stan and
yeah,
Disney. Like, I'm sure there's stuff Disney have got out there that they want back, but have just got to wait a couple of years to get it.
Yeah, they do.
When their
right.
license agreements runs out. So
yeah, and that's the thing with Onward. They had that licensing agreement, and so we had to wait for it.
Yeah.
Look, it's one movie. I'm not really that mad about it. We got to watch it for free, or not for free, but off Disney for the monthly price.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing movie for the kids and us, and it's basically based around D&D, so it was fun for me as well. So yeah, I don't have a huge problem with it, but I just think if Foxtel's coming in the market with binge at $10 a month, I think it's a little high, it's a little late. The only sort of draw to it would be Game of Thrones, and everyone has seen it.
Yeah.
For those who haven't, they probably aren't that interested anyway. I've seen a little bit of it. The books are better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I don't know.
Well, I've been catching up with. Now I've forgotten the name of it. Now it's another Apple TV Plus one. The gaming show.
A good game.
No, Sultan's Quest. Mystic Quest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a semi-comedy about. It's a comedy.
Yeah.
About a gaming company who makes.
That's right, and it's written by the guys who did Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Some funny stuff in it.
Yeah.
So that's been good.
I've got a few friends that have worked for gaming companies in Sydney and stuff like that. So, yeah, nerds are funny.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so I won't give anything away, but yeah.
Yeah.
There's one girl I keep in the basement who looks after talking to the customers.
So I'm guessing they've stolen that from IT crowd.
So we've also got a how-to this week.
Yeah.
How to share iCloud folders from your iPhone and iPad. Improved collaboration for iCloud Drive arrived in 13.4. That's iOS 13.4, iPad OS, and Mac OS Catalina 10.15.4. Shared folders has long been a requested feature from iCloud Drive users, and the latest iPhone, iPad and Mac software offers up an easy way to share with others, including multiple folders at a time. There are also some handy permissions options that come along with the new feature. Now, if you remember seeing the feature last year, that's because it debuted in the iOS 13 betas but then was removed because it had some issues. Anyway, it's all back now. So sharing iCloud folders, and I'll chuck a picture up. There we go. So sharing iCloud photos from iPhone and iPad, make sure you're running at least 13.4 or iPad iOS 13.4. Open the Files app and navigate to iCloud Drive. Long press on a folder, then tap Share. To share multiple folders, select up the top and choose multiple folders, and then tap the Share icon. That's the square with the up arrow. We all share things. To quickly share one folder, long press and use the share option toward the bottom of the list. You can also swipe up on a share sheet as shown below and choose Add People. This will allow you to share the same folder with multiple people. At the bottom of the screen, you can dial in sharing permissions like you can with folders. There you can make changes. The default is set to only people you invite can access the folders and can make changes for permission. And the link has got more pictures for the walkthrough. So, what about any other stories or goings on, mister?
I've played a couple other games, but I'm going to leave them anyway. I'll talk about them later. Now that I've got that hooked up, I'm quite excited about getting in there and actually being able to play them properly. Being a console player my whole life, playing on the console is my preferred, way of playing. So I'll be able to get right into that and start actually playing some games.
Okay. I want because there's all these where you can play all of the old 8-bit games, for example, on Raspberry Pis or Apples or Windows or whatever. I think it was the 30th anniversary of Windows Solitaire this week.
It was.
On a game thing. But I'm waiting to get the ColecoVision Grand Prix thing. That's why I bought ColecoVision in the first place.
Oh, wow. That was a cool game.
That's got to be like 1978 or something.
Something like that. I remember playing as a kid. We had a ColecoVision under the TV at my nan's house that no one played when I was a kid, and I used to pull it out and play it because I was allowed to touch that before the Atari, and so I'd do that, and then when I was allowed to play the Atari, that was me done. I was straight in Space Invaders, Pac-Man, Pitfall, and then from there on in, I was done. Hey James, thanks for tuning in, man.
Yeah, I basically stopped playing.
Oh, hey Renee, thanks for tuning in.
Went from ColecoVision to computers.
Yeah.
And never went back to doing the gaming part of it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes. So I just went after Atari, Nintendo, PlayStation, then Xbox, and now either or. Like you got all these people that they're either Xbox or PlayStation. I like games.
Yeah.
I will play it on any console you give me.
Yeah.
I will play it on a computer. I will play it on an Apple TV. I don't care. I like games.
Yep.
So I don't have a preference. I just like to play.
All right. So our next story, former iOS chief Scott Forstall shares an intriguing story of his interview with Steve Jobs for his job at Next, when Steve had Next. Mac Rumors former Apple executive and iOS chief Scott Forstall made a rare public appearance this week at Code.org's virtual Code Break event, and in between classes, Forstall shared the intriguing story of how he was hired by Steve Jobs. Forstall revealed that he had been considering work at Microsoft when he went to an interview at Next, the company started by Jobs after he had left Apple. Forstall described the Next interview as intense, involving 17 people over the course of the day. It's a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have thought there were 17 people at Next, but anyway. However, 10 minutes into the first interview, Jobs burst into the room, grabbed the interviewer and took him out in the hallway. The two had an animated discussion as Forstall waited. Eventually, Jobs came back into the room to personally conduct the interview with him. He just started peppering me with questions after question, and after about 15 minutes, we really clicked on design, philosophy, and a bunch of other things, Forstall recalled. Eventually, he stopped and said, I know you have to interview for the rest of the day. I don't care what anyone says. At the end of the day, I'm giving you an offer. But please pretend you're interested in everyone else's questions throughout the rest of the day. Then he looked at me and said, I'm sure you're going to accept this offer. So this was his way to convince me. Forstall went on to reveal that he'd also had an offer for Microsoft, which he subsequently turned down that day. The next morning, he found a dead fish in a box on his doorstep. Reminded me of Mafia's use of dead fish delivery as a threat. Forstall checked the box for a return address. It was from Microsoft, so Forstall called up his contact there, but it turned out the company had sent him a fresh king salmon from Seattle's Pike, implying that he wouldn't be able to buy fish like that if he moved to the Bay Area.
Right.
Forstall said he ended up cooking the fish and eating it that evening and went on to work with Steve Jobs at Next and Apple for the next 20 years before departing the company in 2013. So that's an interesting way of trying to convince someone to work for you, is sending them a fish and say you wouldn't be able to buy this if you moved to San Francisco.
Oh, that's so weird. That's so weird. It definitely sounds like a threat.
But yeah, so
At least it wasn't a horse head.
Now, this is what happened to us the other night.
Yep.
It was that one there. This app is no longer shared with you. To use it, you must buy it from the App Store.
Yep.
View in the App Store or cancel. That's your choices you're getting at the moment. So some people have got this.
Yeah, that's it.
That's right. We got it the other night.
Yep, on my phone.
Yeah, when we were trying to share something to my Apple TV.
Yep.
Now, it's a bug. It's an iOS bug preventing some apps from opening. An app bug is causing some iOS users to be unable to open their apps, with affected iPhone and iPad users seeing the message, this app is no longer shared with you. There are multiple complaints about the issue on Mac Rumors forums and on Twitter from users who are running into problems. A Mac Rumors reader described the issue. Is anyone else experiencing widespread app crashes? I'm suddenly being informed that this app is no longer shared with you from several iOS apps, and when I follow the prompt at the apps page, the only option is to open, which then puts me back into the same loop, which is what happened to us.
Yep.
Dozens of Twitter complaints suggest the issue is affecting people running both 13.4.1 and 13.5.
Yep.
And it's not clear what's causing the problem, as not everyone appears to be affected. Some users have had the problem occur after updating apps in the last day. There have been complaints about many apps, including YouTube, Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, LastPass, and more. When updated, we updated the WhatsApp on iPhone 13.4 prior to writing this article and immediately got the error message. How to fix this app is no longer shared. People impacted by the issue have been able to fix their apps by deleting the app that's not working and reinstalling it. But stop there for a minute, right?
Yep.
Because depending on the app, you may not want to do that because you're going to lose your data. If you delete the app and then reinstall it, you're going to lose your data. So if, for example, it was a game or something else that you've got history in, you don't want to do it this way. You don't want to delete it and then reinstall it. So you want to do offloading the app rather than deleting it. Will also fix the problem. The benefit of offloading an app is that you won't lose any data and you can pick up right where you left off. To offload, go to Settings, General, iPhone Storage, scroll down to the app with the problem, tap the app name and tap on Offload App. And as I said, just a note, Zarn got this on Saturday night when he was visiting me.
I did.
So What a
and we're
coincidence.
able to sort it out. It also had something similar happen to the Apple TV.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
that thing last night. Yeah.
yeah. So just for no reason, it decided that it wouldn't play my Netflix or anything like that. It was just telling me that the data usage was too high to run, and I know that I've got enough internet. And we ended up working that out. I dropped the picture rate down from 4K just to your 1080,
Yeah.
and then I reset my box, which is just unplugging it and leaving it for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I then replugged it in, set everything up, come back in, everything worked perfectly. But again, it was telling me that it just didn't want to play anything. So, but it was only for the streaming apps.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't ABC or anything like that with a live app or anything like that. It was just the Netflix, Stan, Disney, and all that. But it was all of them. It wasn't just the one. It was all of them. It was doing it too. So by downgrading it from 4K to 1080, which is no big deal anyway.
Especially at the moment.
Yeah, especially at the moment because our bandwidth is so slow.
Yeah, and there is no. I don't think there are any 4K movies at the moment. Like, because there's not enough bandwidth to put a 4K movie out. Because everyone's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and so it was no great loss. Like I said, it didn't really lose any picture or anything like that. It still looks normal to me. And now everything works and the kids are happy. So yeah,
that's the important bit.
That's right.
Kids and wife happy.
That's it. So if you're having the same issues with your Apple TV, like I said, just unplug it first, leave it for 30 or so seconds, plug it back in, go into your settings, go into systems. What was it, systems we went into?
Yeah.
Yep.
And video and audio and video.
Audio, video. You go in, you can choose what pixel, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. 4K, 1080p.
Yeah, 1080p. You can 1080 HD. Yeah. And so I just went to standard 1080 standard definition.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it made no great difference to my old eyes. And it's now running perfectly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as everyone slowly goes back to work, which will be years away yet anyway, so
yeah.
I think you'll find. Now, what about Apple's Bounce AirPods ad wins Best of Advertising Award?
Huh.
So
cool ad.
It is a very cool ad. Apple's creative Bounce ad designed to highlight the AirPods took top honours in the 99th annual, next year must be special for them, ADC Art Directors Club Awards for advertising, earning the Best of Discipline award along with 2 Gold Cube Awards for craft in video and branded content categories. Released in 2009 to June 2009, the ad features a bored man who pulls his AirPods off their wireless charging pad and then pops outside to bounce over street items that are bouncy like a trampoline. The song, I Learned Some Jazz Today, plays in the background while he bounces throughout town, and it is excellent. There's a YouTube link to it in the show notes, of course.
What model AirPods can charge on a wireless charging?
All of them on the sorry.
I've got the first ones. Do they do it?
Let me think.
Probably not, hey?
Probably the second ones. Yeah,
I would say the second one. So, yeah.
No. I think they were supposed to be, but they've got to be the right.
Because there's a little steel.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Well, there is a little steel bar, like a little metal bar on the back of the case that you might, that's where you might stick down.
Yeah. It's because Apple didn't get around to making the charger properly because they had some issues there.
Yeah.
But there are some others floating around. Yeah. But it is a really cool ad. It is a very cool ad. What else have we got? Oh, we still got more. So what about iOS and iPad OS 13.5 now available with COVID-19 Contact API, FaceTime, and Face ID tweaks. Now, what's new in 13.5? Macworld informs us what we'll find in iOS and iPad OS 13.5. We expect the release to fine-tune a few minor details and fix a few bugs while starting to address COVID-19 specific issues. Face ID for those wearing masks. It would make Face ID a lot less secure for it to work on people wearing masks. But now that so many millions of people are wearing masks every day, Apple has made the fail state less painful. After swiping up to unlock your phone, you used to have to wait a second for Face ID to fail before it would display the keypad to enter your passcode. Now it displays the keypad right away, so you can start entering your passcode immediately. It has failed due to your mask. So it realises you've got a mask, boom. It's a small change, but one will be appreciated by those wearing masks all day. Contact tracing app. Those iOS releases will include the Apple Google Contact Tracing API for developers. That won't mean anything to regular users until state health agencies release apps that use it, but the developers of those apps can now publish them. It's important to note that the Google Apple Exposure Notification API protects your privacy in many ways. Data is never uploaded from your device to a central server. Your identity is never shared, only a random and changing string of letters and numbers, and your location is never recorded or shared. Still, there's a new privacy setting to prevent logging off COVID-19 tracing. To change it, go to Settings, Privacy, Health, and look for COVID-19 exposure. And now this is another one that people have had a hassle with. Group FaceTime face zooming. So when you make a group FaceTime call, iOS automatically zooms in and out of a person who's speaking. That may work with only 3 or 4 people, but in more crowded calls, it's a pain. New in iOS 13.5 is a toggle to disable that. Go to Settings, FaceTime, and look for Automatic Prominence heading. There's a toggle for speaking there. And, of course, links. So, I've got nothing else, my friend.
All right, I'm all done too.
You've been very quiet tonight.
Oh, I apologise.
You're supposed to share the workload. Share the workload.
Yeah.
Push in. Just shut up, Michael. Do it now.
Show promotions, show note links each week on show uploads, links being aussiemaczone.com.au /AMZ336 /. There you'll see the last 6 weeks of show notes. You can email us at Michael.
Or Zarn.
That's me. at aussiemaczone.com.au. You can find us on Spotify. Just search Aussie Mac Zone. You can find us at Apple News, and Aussie Mac Zone.
Yeah.
You can Apple Podcast us.
Google Podcasts.
YouTube us.
Yep.
You can Facebook us. Do we have a Twitter? A Twitter account?
Yeah. I'll put it up next week and remind me.
There you go.
To
tweet us. And if people are going to start using Twitter, I'll jump on there and chat with them.
All right.
And we don't have a Instagram account, do we?
No.
So there we go. Can't get us on Insta. So clearly, we're not hip and happening. I understand, but that's okay because Macs never go out of style. Apples.
Your fingers would barely use Instagram, would they?
Yeah, that's right. So now we're going to thank you, our sponsors, our listeners, who are the most important, our watchers, and that's us. So an apple a day keeps the androids away. See you guys. Thanks.